Okay, guys, it's Tuesday night. I'm coming to you early. I'm gonna make sure my phone it's up. Okay, and yeah, I'm gonna come to you early. Anyway, it's Tuesday night. Just to give you guys some reminders, our Say Brazil cleansing bars price increase is effective October 1st, which is Thursday. So if you've been waiting to buy these, we have no minimums on our website. You can go right to the Smooth Skin Supply, and then you go to Say Brazil cleansing bar collection, our cleansing bar body, and our personal bars. These prices go up effective on Thursday. And then I also have our registration up for the Esthetician 101 course. It is 6 months long. It's with me. And I am giving a payment option. So if you don't want to pay it all up front, I'm giving you a 3-month payment plan. And early bird pricing is already available. I think that's it. Yeah, and then this Sunday I'm actually doing, yeah, that's right. This Sunday the price goes up for 12 goes up. Everything's going up on the bars. All of it's going up. In my group, you know that I do every single month or every couple weeks, I do a live chat. This one coming up is going to be on all soft waxes. So it's this Sunday at 6:30 in my Esthetician Smooth Skin Supply Wax Chat group. I am going to be demoing all of the soft waxes, talking about them, how to use them, all of that good stuff. All right, how is everybody doing today? I hope everybody's doing well. It is definitely taking a turn for cold here in Dallas. I had to pull out the hat. You know I ain't got no hair, so I got to, thank you. You know I got to cover up my head. I just came from yoga, so I ain't got no makeup on, and we got the yoga, you know, nice stuff. So anyway, thank you. I had to pull out my hats. You know, when I don't have any hair, I got to cover my head, you know, because all your heat leaves out your head. So I had to put my hats on. So I have gotten, I don't think it's as cold as it is in Michigan, but to me, being Cali and Texas, it's cold. I still should be in my daggone flip-flops. You know, thank you. So last week was very interesting. Yes, we had a lot of eye-opening things happen last week. I got lots of private messages and emails from people. It's been interesting, the ride that we took last week on our Esthetician 101 test. Yes, Chile and Cleveland. You started studying. Awesome. So I have decided to do a 6-month 101 class. It is in a private group. It is going to be on all of the topics that we talked about and then some. I'm going in depth. So I'm taking a month on each topic, and I do a live chat every single month. And this is for estheticians who really want to focus on education that is not based off of a product. And, yeah, so I'm talking about all kinds of stuff. I'm going to be talking about skin conditions, how we define them, understanding product penetration, understanding different types of modalities and how you can penetrate products, the difference between oil dry and water dry skin, how to correctly use each product for each skin condition, which is important. I'm going to be discussing understanding the benefits of machines and pairing them with your skin treatments. You can register for this course at stephanielaynes.com. I'm going to be discussing chemical exfoliants. I'm going to be discussing you're welcome, manual exfoliation, the benefits of both, the benefits of each, and when you can use both. And then the importance of understanding ingredients in your retail and your back bar products. What the ingredients are, a lot of us are buying the same product, just different name, different bottle, but same ingredient. We got to get out of that. So that takes place starting January 1st. I have an early bird pricing right now. You can split it up, pay it one time, or you can pay over 3 months. It's up to you. I give you an option. And it'll start January 1st. It'll end June 1st. Whenever you come in and whenever you log in is when you participate. All of the live chats will be on Sunday evenings because you know I like to do Sunday evenings. At least people give the opportunity to actually participate. Okay, so there's all the homework. So let's get started on today's topic because I've been getting a lot of emails. And if you're not in my group, please join my group. If you are not in my group, which is a Smooth Skin Supply Wax Chat group, we have a great group of people. We have a great group of estheticians. We have no drama in there. I'm all about drama free. I'm all about encouraging estheticians. We have great conversations about everything, including waxing, but everything under aesthetics. I typically do my new products that I'm launching. I typically do my my beta testing in the group. So I use my same estheticians to do test results. I have another one coming up. I have all 10. So thank you guys who have joined in, but it's the Funk Buster, and that's what it's called. It's for your room, your bed, your sheets. Anytime someone comes in and they smell, I have a natural Funk Buster. It is specifically for your fan. It's also for surfaces. It's also for your sheets. So when someone comes in and they don't smell right, we have that. But I am testing it. I have 2 right now. I'm doing a beta test, and I got 10 estheticians. I put it out yesterday, and I got 10 emails within an hour. So I wanted people who have funky rooms, so or people who have really stinky clients, or they have bad ventilation, to try these out. I have 2 different kinds. So we're going to do an A and a B. And yeah, I should have those within a week, and then I will have that. You know, I have always used a Funk Buster. I just have never thought about offering it, and I've actually got quite a few private messages from people on how to handle if you can't have any candles in your room, or if you can't do any, or you don't have any kind of essential oil thing. What can you do that's not going to be a chemical? What's a natural Funk Buster? And I have been using a Funk Buster for years, so I was like, well, I guess I can give my secret out. I love it. They smell wonderful. Again, it's all natural. It can be used as a natural cleanser too. I like to spray onto my fan, and I always have a fan onto my trolley. So whether I use the fan or not, it's easy to turn the fan on, spray it once the client leaves, clears the room out, gives us some new energy, and it's done busted the funk. So it's called Funk Buster. So, you know, those of y'all can be offended, you can be offended. It'll be fine. So anyway, all right, let's get started to everything that I want to talk about today. And I want to talk about how do you had a client last week and her feet were the worst. And yeah, incense don't work. Yes, no, honey. Yes, no. Feet, booty, and cootie are very funky. And if you get someone who comes in the room and is not bodily scent aware, it can really take over your room. It can be almost like it just takes over the room. And I have had a very large room. So my last, she says she died. My last waxing room was huge. I think, what was it? 30 by 30. So it's hard. You know, when I had a small room, it's easy to kind of clear out the scent in a small room because you don't have a whole lot to go. But when you have a big room and you get a funky in there and they just take over the whole thing and your eyes is watering, you're like, damn, what? So my Funk Buster, I'm so excited about the Funk Buster. So excited about the Funk Buster. And it's called the Funk Buster. Absolutely. You can be offended if you want to, but you know, I don't want to call it a room spray because it's not a room spray. It is to funk. It's to bust the funk. So, and my waxers all know that, you know, we've all encountered this and we don't have help. So anyway, I'm excited about that. So what do we do when we have a client that we've injured? How do you keep that client? And I've been getting this question quite a bit, along with pictures, with clients that people have injured. Funk Buster. And they're concerned about how to keep them in correct. And it could be anything. It could be lifting. It could be you've burned someone. I've seen some facials. I'm seeing some pictures this week of a bad dermaplane. I've seen pictures this week of a bad microderm. I've seen some pictures of this week of a bad burn from chemical peels. So how do you, when you have a client that walks in and their skin is healthy and they walk out and their skin is not healthy, how do you keep these clients from, you know, becoming angry, and how do you rectify the situation? And there's a couple of different instances where I've seen some very, very bad situations that have come out very good. And I've also seen some very bad situations go to legal where money and damages are being awarded. I think we have to take a step back and really start looking at what we are doing to the skin, how we can affect the skin from one moment to the next, and how everyone doesn't fit in a box. You can't put every single person into a box. Every person that walks into our treatment room has different skin conditions. Their environment at home is different. We don't know what they use at home because a lot of them don't tell us the entire truth. So when you have an injury that occurs, when you have damaged them, how do you keep them from not going off on the deep end and saying, I'm going to sue you, I'm going to take your license? This is always a hard topic for me to talk about just because I've seen it from both sides. I've seen it from an esthetician, from my personal experiences, because again, I've told you, I've done everything you can think of. I've injured someone. And I've also seen it from my perspective of an expert, especially when it comes to waxing, because I've been asked to be a expert witness. So I've seen both sides of the coin. And it's always difficult for me to get a picture from an esthetician and then ask them what exactly happened. And my always question after that is, well, what did you do to help the situation? What did you give them? What did you say to them? And I find a lot of us don't know what to say when we've injured someone. We don't know how to pacify the client to continue to trust you that you're going to correct the issue. Like, we don't know how to get past that. We're still so in shock that we've injured them that we kind of stay in that mode. Like, it's hard for us to get out of that. Okay, they're damaged. Now what do I do to rectify the situation? How do I bring them comfort? How do I keep the trust? How do I allow myself to go back and think what I've learned to help the healing process? And it doesn't even have to be when you've seen it. It could be a day or two later. You have a client that used an at-home wax and nair within a minute of each other, then wanted you to fix. And see, Annie, that's a great point. Thank you for bringing that up, because there are some issues that clients do at home and they want you to fix it as well. And I think that's a little bit different, but it can be a learning experience, because I've had to fix things too. But my thing is if I'm going to fix it, I'm charging full price. I'm not charging just to fix it. You're going to get charged for the entire thing. So the entire thing is, if you want me to fix what you did at home, you tore yourself up with wax and then you naired on top, which is absolutely crazy. I don't know why you would ever do that. But in order for me to heal and restore your skin, I'm going to have to charge you for a full treatment or multiple treatments. There's not going to be a discount. But when you injure them and they have designed, or they're looking at paying you the money, how do you fix it? And I always get the response of, okay, well, I'm going to give them service free because I injured them. That's the tip of the iceberg. If you have damaged someone in that service, you should never expect them to pay for it, number one. But number two, what do you do from there? Where do you go from there? Because we're going to do two examples. I'll do one example for skincare and I'll do one example for waxing. So skincare, you have dermaplaning this client. She has scratches all over her face. And the scratches did not appear until a day later. So you have a picture of her, she may be red, she may be bright, you may have also done an alpha hydroxy treatment at the same time. You don't see any scrapes, you don't see any skin broken, you don't see anything. But the next day you get a picture and she looks striped up, red, irritated, stripes. How do you fix that? Because again, you've already charged them. So that means that they've gone home. So what do you do to make sure that that relationship and that trust is still intact? Because I find a lot of us get stuck right there. We're so worried about, what they did. Of course, we want to refund them for the service. That's the least. But the step further is how you're going to set up a program for them for the healing process. You had one that broke out and I told her to use Benadryl and I followed up with her the next day and she wouldn't call back. So you lost her. And that happens. I have always found that having the client come back in is better than having them do something at home. Because here's the thing. The client feels like, number one, they got gypped. Number two, they did not come with the expectation of them walking into your business to have a reaction or have an injury when they left or the next day. And that's something that we are never taught. We're never taught about the what ifs. What if they don't respond? What if we injure them? What if we don't see anything, but it does come up a few days later? We're never taught the what if and how do you fix. What we are taught is how to do the treatment. And the thing is that, when you get into a situation, it's twofold. It's one about correcting what you did wrong, but the other thing is keeping that trust with that client. And it's hard because you don't want to throw too much. And that's what I find a lot of us do. We do too much. So we've refunded, we've set up a whole, hyperpigmentation treatment program that's going to take, 4 to 6 treatments, and we're giving them free product. There's no guarantee even doing all of that client's going to stay and that trust is going to stay. There's no guarantee. What I find is that explaining what has happened and by having them come back in also gives me an opportunity to explain what the products are that I'm giving them to use and the process and the time it's going to take to heal the skin. And that's something that we're not taught to do. It's very humbling to have to explain to a client that you did injure them and that the process is going to take maybe 3, 4, 5, 6 months. And you're sorry. And can I help you fix this? Can I fix this? It's a hard thing to say to a client. Can you fix it? You try to tell them all reactions that may happen up front. And that is a great thing to do. It's the ones that you don't expect to react, or it wasn't reaction that you were expecting to happen. And again, it's still your fault. Those are the ones that are hard to stomach. It's hard to stomach when you've damaged someone and you didn't know it. It's hard to stomach when you see the damage and you want to fix it, but how do you fix your mouth to tell that client, I would like to fix it. Let me fix it. Because most clients are so angry because they're so in shock that that's the response that they're getting, because that's not what they were told that they were going to get, or it's not what they've seen the results of other people are going to be. It's hard to humble yourself and tell a client, I want to fix what I did wrong. It's hard. I'm not saying it's easy, ever. It's never easy. But a lot of us would rather give them a phone call, push some products off, and kind of do this kind of thing and leave them. That's not how you build trust. And believe it or not, you do have to remain calm and you have to show empathy. You do. It's hard when they have a histamine reaction and they don't tell you until much later. Absolutely. And I think part of it is explaining what a histamine response is. And that's why with technology and what we have between Facebook and Instagram and all those things, we should also be showing the sad and bad ones too. A lot of us love those beautiful brows. We love a great wax. We love a great facial that's hydrated and glowing. But none of us want to show the tore up stuff. A lot of us don't want to show when it doesn't look the way we expected it to look. It's rare that you see damaged skin from a service. It's very rare. However, it's a learning opportunity for a lot of us because we need to see it, but we also need to be able to humble ourselves and say to that client, I would like to fix it as well. You send out messages and people say, thanks for the inspiration, but you made me break out. Oh, those are the pictures we get. And those are, Angela's absolutely right. We get the damage pictures. I have lots of damage pictures. Not just from waxing. And those are the pictures that we need to be learning from. Those are the pictures that we absolutely need to be learning from. And it's sad that we don't learn from that. And the other thing too, with that comment about the client said you made me break out, it's not the making you break out. And that's something that you want to understand. And I'm not sure how you're communicating with your people. I'm not sure if you are, giving them information about what a histamine response is. I'm not sure if you're explaining that bumps or breakouts are because the hair is being removed and that's normal. If you already have allergies, you're going to have a response. But it should also be somewhere in your business so that you can refer to. I love to have back of my treatment door be where the information is, and it could be very cute and funny. Are you having a histamine response? Have you ever had bumps after you left me? Did you know that that's normal? Those kinds of things, and not have it be so technical. Those are the kind of things that you want to explain, but also have it be upfront, whether they're new or old. Always have it available. Again, I love back of my treatment door because that's where a lot of people look. Don't ask me why, but that's where they look. So really think about ramping it up that way. When you wax someone, and here's the thing about waxing and why waxing is so devastating to people. The little form they sign, they don't read. I'll put one up. No, they don't read it. Not at all. You should also be putting on, my rules too, especially with waxing. We're not going to have no naked wrestling. We're not going to the sauna. We're not going to the gym. You're not going to put on, your dirty drawers. You're not going to be kissing on people, and you're not putting on that dirty makeup with that dirty makeup brush. I mean, all of those things should be played out and explained out in multiple different areas. So in your treatment room, on your website, on your client consultation form, on your, this is what you need to do in the next 24 hours, little piece of paper, reminder, the back of your business card, all of those things should be sent there. You send a text message now before the service. Absolutely. You should also be sending a follow-up text message if you do that. Just checking on you, making sure everything is okay. Just understand that it's normal if you have a little bit of bumps. Please let me know if these bumps last longer than 48 hours. Okay? But when it comes to waxing, the reason why waxing is so devastating to us is because here's the big one. We can't put the hair back. We also can't put the skin back that we take too. It's instant. The response in 24 hours of the histamine response doesn't always happen in everything, right? Lips are very, 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 very bacteria filled, very, very sensitive, always prone, especially if the clients already have allergies. They're going to tend to break out. And then the brows come too. And again, over time, the body has to be used to that response of the hair being pulled out and that histamine response being released. If you have clients that are on antihistamine anyway, that helps, yes. But it's the devastation when the bleeding happens, when the skin is broken, when the skin is weeping, when the skin is torn. It's devastating because you're not going to be able to fix that right away. And it's hard to tell someone, especially if it's a face wax, that you've injured them. And I have known quite a few estheticians who will wait until that client gets the mirror and then instead of preparing them before they look at themselves to let them know exactly what happens. So when they get the mirror, you pointing out and saying, we had a little bit of lifting right here. This is what I'm going to do for you. You're going to take the Ouch Balm home. You're going to put it on every single night with the Q-tip. Make sure it's fresh. You're going to dab it onto that area for the next 7 nights, and it's going to speed up the healing process, and it's also going to allow that skin to heal naturally. We don't do that. We just kind of say, I'm sorry, I didn't know. You've whacked off front half of your friend's brows and was traumatized to wax anyone for months. I've done it all. And it's not until you get through it that you realize it is just hair. But it's also devastating. Early in your career, you waxed someone and the red parts of her stretch marks lifted and it bled a bit. So scary. Yes, I've had that. I've had to cut wax out of clients. She was going on vacation the next day. She probably had about 3 inches of hair. I was not using a great wax. I put some powder on because she was sweating. She was a jumper. She wouldn't let me finish. I tried. It never came off. Then it got stuck. Then it balled up into a mat right there on that apex. I tried to take some scissors, which means you had to pull it in order to straighten it. So the bleeding started all on top of that. So between blood and powder and oil and wax and hair, hot mess. And she ran out, I'm going on vacation tomorrow. Don't wear a bikini. I'm sorry. And I ain't got nothing to give you. But you don't need to worry about the service price today. Of course she never came back. But it's when you understand that it's going to be hard. Whenever you injure a client, whether it's waxing, whether it's skincare, whether it's with the machine, microdermabrasion, chemical peels, it's always devastating. So the empathy has to be there, but it should also be with, how can I make this right? What can I do to help you? And I find that when the client calls on the phone and she's yelling and screaming and just, how could you do this to me? Didn't you know? Do you know what you're doing? I'm going to tell everybody not to come to you. I'm going to get on Yelp and I'm going to get on Facebook and I'm going to say how bad it is. I'm going to put my picture everywhere. that's when it's like, well, I'm human. I'm sorry. I have found, especially since I created Ouch Bomb and being able to give it to clients, I found that the action of giving them something has always been that trust bridge. It wasn't like I just sent them home saying, I'm sorry, I don't know, I didn't see it. No, once I started acknowledging my errors and giving them something that they could use to help the healing process and explain the healing process, it's a lot better. Is it fun? No, it's never fun. It's never fun with scissors with matted hair in it and hair in your hand. That's never fun either. It's never fun when you're taking that gauze, especially if it's on, a brow right here and they bleeding and you're talking to them and you're still holding it right here. Or they blink and, you have all this right here and you're like, that's never fun either. But it's just really getting to the point where you're wanting to fix it. I'm wanting to make it right. Now, it's been more of like a 60-40. 40 have stayed, 60 have gone. And I'm just being so serious. And that was in my younger days. So 6 out of 10 people that I've jacked up, 6 are gone. 4 stayed. And that's to be expected. Not every client is going to want to hear what I have to say or explanation or anything. All they see is that I'm the reason that they have damage. I'm the reason they're walking out either bleeding or irritated or red or tore up. I'm the reason why. And you have to be okay with that. You have to be okay with that. Not every service is going to be perfect. Not every client's going to be honest. Not every skin can take what we do to it as well. You gotta know that. You kind of got to know that up front. That, there are going to be times where it's both the esthetician's fault and the client's fault. But again, you're going to have to take fault for the entire situation. A client doesn't disclose to us that they're using vitamin A or anything like that on their skin. You go to wax their lip, half the skin comes off. It's still going to be our fault. You know why? Because they came in and they've been using it and ain't nothing happened. It wasn't until we put the wax on the skin that there was a issue. Again, we have to take fault. Is it fun? No. But keeping that relationship, is it worth it to you? Will a client allow you to keep that relationship? Some will, some won't. Some will, some won't. Some will just be like, I'm done. I know you injured me. I'm telling everybody. Okay, all right. I'm human. It's skin. It's hair. It'll go back. Okay. And the only reason I can say that now is because I've had so many. Some clients equate our industry with miracle work and perfection. They keep many secrets. Absolutely. Well, part of it is, and I've said this on many Periscopes, and I said this last week, we don't know what we're doing sometimes either. We don't. We would rather look at the skin with our naked eye than actually ask questions and get a true evaluation of the skin as it comes into our treatment room. And a lot of us think because we see it that we can evaluate it, not even touching the skin. And that's where a lot of us get in trouble as well. It's not just the questions. It's not just the client consultation form. It's not just the waxing consent form. It's really asking the important questions. A lot of us I have seen have tore people up because they didn't know that they were diabetic, or they didn't know that they were on medication, or they didn't ask them if you have a new medication. Because people don't think about medication as affecting any kind of hair removal or affecting their skin. To them, it's like, apples and oranges. It has nothing to do with that. Not realizing that a lot of medications affect the skin. Topical medications as well as internal medications. But a lot of us don't keep up with that. We don't ask those questions. And the fact that we have our phone and we can go right on Google, we can go ahead and push the button and talk to Siri. Siri, what is this drug and what does it do to the skin? And Siri will tell you. We don't think in that manner. So when we get an incident and we go back and say, oh, are you using a new product? Are you on a new medication? Are you taking hormones? Oh, I didn't tell you that, yeah, I'm a diabetic. Because I love the ones in these groups that say, I've been waxing my client and she's been a diabetic for years and nothing's never happened to her. Yet. Or here's the big one. My client's been on Retin-A for years and I waxed her all the time. I never had her skin lift. And I would love to just get in there and just type 3 letters. Yet. Because there's always always, I'm telling you, always there's an esthetician talking about what they did, and it's, you know, now there's big questions, especially with oncology aesthetics and people who are recovering from cancer and treatments and all of that. Should they be waxing? No, no, no. Well, the doctor said it was okay. The doctor don't know. No, 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 no. You know, there's a lot of plastic surgery happening. A lot of us don't realize that. And I've said this story a lot. I had a client who had labiaplasty, you know, and she begged me, and I kept telling her, no, no. Labiaplasty is reconstruction of the labia. Her labia was very, very long. It hung out. It did not go back. So it was extra skin. It was always chafing. So what they did is they had the labia. They sliced the labia open. They cut all of the excess skin, and then they sutured it all up. So, of course, her being my client for years, she gets in there and is like, oh, you know, and shows me everything. So I see stitches and everything. I said, oh, honey, no, we're not going to do this today. I can't wait. I've been itching. I don't want to shave. No. You need to go to the doctor and have a written consent from the doctor before you come back. And of course, you know she did and went and got it. I said, are you sure? How long do you need to wait until she can get waxed? I should have waited longer. It was already 6 weeks, but I should have went 8 weeks. But I waxed her. And of course, I busted 2 stitches, 1 on each labia. Showed it to her. There was a little bit of bleeding, not a whole lot. And they were stitches that evaporated. So, yeah. 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 I mean, you talk about somebody sweating. And she was like, it's fine. Just take the hair, please. Take the hair. And I'm like, oh, but I'm busting your stitches. But now, you know, and this was, she had labiaplasty about, let's see, 4 years ago. Perfect. Perfect now. Perfect now. I didn't even know that there was that kind of surgery until she explained it to me. And you know she showed me the pictures. And you know she showed me the pictures of all the skin they cut off too. I said, that was a lot of skin. She's like, right? Just that's a lot of skin. And she was so cute because she was like, I had to ask you something. You know, you and my husband are the only ones that see this. So I'm thinking about going to get surgery. I'm like, not reconstruction surgery, right? She's like, no, just my labia. There's the skin. There's a lot of skin there, huh? Don't you think? Yeah. So I'm going to go get a consultation. And then, you know, it happened all within 3 months. All within 3 months. She had the consultation. She made the appointment. She had the surgery. And then that's when she came, you know, seeing me. She kept texting me too. You know, she texted me after the surgery was done. And then when she came in and showed me, you know me, I'm all nosy anyway. That's just kind of up my alley. I'm a science nerd. So I'm just looking like, well, dang, they really sliced from the top all the way to the bottom. And she's like, yeah. I'm like, how many drugs are you on? She said, I'm on quite a bit. But it was interesting. I mean, it's an experience. However, you know, we got to know a lot more about what people are doing outside. Some doctors are showing it on Snapchat. See, now I can't. I mean, Dr. Pepper Popper got me, you know, all kind of juiced. I was telling Angela that. I said, well, I should have went back to school to get my dermatology because I always thought dermatologists were nerds and all they did was touch and prescribe Retin-A and pop little zits. Shoo, she in there popping real zits. I mean, popping and pus and all kind of things on people's bodies and stuff. Look, and I sure been eyeballing my husband too because he got this little thing right here and I just keep looking at him like, you want me to get it, baby? Anyway, I digress. But just knowing, we got to know what's going on. We got to know all of these different stuff that's happening before, our clients even come in. And then when they do come in, we got to be even more proactive. We got to ask about everything. Medications, skincare. Oh, honey, now you know you want me to get it. Look, he done popped in on the Periscope. Now you know you want me to get it. I've been eyeballing it for almost as long as I've been with you. Just all I got to do is just pop a little bit and just see what squeezes out. It'll be fine. You'll be good. You're not a science project. No, you're not. But I can do good work. You'll be fine. I love her too. I'll be in there just mesmerized, especially when she has an old little thing. Look, she's like, yes, Rudy, yes. You want me to get it. But it's the questions. It's the questions. And then I actually had someone reach out to me about consent forms. If you're in my Smooth Skin Supply Wax Chat group, I do have my waxing consent form, and I think I have my client consultation form in there as well. My client consultation form I've had for a long time. It's the same one that I use at the doctor, and it's very intense. I mean, I ask for a whole bunch. I want to know your ancestry. I want to know if you burn. I want to know if you're getting some beds. I want to know if you had medication. I want to know what surgeries you've had. I want to know how many pregnancies you've had. I want to know everything. Yes, I do. And I find that people who actually take the time to fill it out and give me the information are forthcoming with other information that they didn't put on there. And I'm asking for everything. I want to know if you have arthritis. I want to know everything. And absolutely, consultation form is completely different than consent. Absolutely. Consultation is the information that you get from your clients to know about their health history that they want to share with you, because a lot of them don't have to. Mine takes it a step further. I want to know your heritage. I want to know if you burn. I want to know if you get in a tanning bed. I want to know last time you spray tan. I want to know all your surgeries. I want to know all of that. Your waxing consent form is giving you permission to do the service with them knowing and understanding that injury can happen, that they have told you they've been on a medication, and if they have not and there is an injury that happens, they have given consent, which means I can take that piece of paper if they decide to sue me because they read it and know everything of any kind of issues are already explained. A lot of us do not have waxing consent forms that we have our clients fill out or initial if there's a change and review when they come in. What we do is we just sit them in the bed or sit them in the chair and just get to it. It's not until something goes wrong that we have to backpedal and be like, well, damn, I didn't have them sign this, or damn, I didn't have them do that. And if you ever see me at a show, I actually do have every single model that comes up and models for me sign waxing consent before they even get on the bed. So that's one thing that I have done for years, because I also don't want to be in a situation where something happens, especially in a class, but at a show or anywhere. I want them to know what they're doing and convince me, and I ask them, what medications have you been on? When's the last time you've been waxed? Are you taking anything internally? Have you had a child? Have you not had a child? All those things I'm asking. Do you have surgeries? Do you have scar tissue? Do you have ingrowns? Do you have cysts? All of those things I'm asking within 5 minutes before they get on the bed. So it's important. We got to know what we're dealing with. We got to be understanding of all kinds of different things, whether it's surgeries, whether it's medication, whether it's health concerns. If someone's on high blood pressure medicine, you need to ask them what the high blood pressure medicine is. If someone is on any kind of antidepressant, you need to know what the antidepressant is and what it does and how it affects the skin. If someone has some kind of any kind of medication, you need to know what it's doing and how it affects the skin. You should know what to do. Absolutely. Don't go willy-nilly and just say, oh, I have someone else that had diabetes and I waxed her, so it's okay for everybody. No, it's not. It's not. It's not. You got to know. You got to ask. And if you don't ask, you don't know. And you can't ask after the injury. It doesn't work like that. Because then they're going to be like, well, you should have asked before. Our consent forms are electronic. How often do they need to be updated? Semi-annually, annually. So you have them fill out their consent forms to do the waxing. Do you ask them when they come in, has anything changed? Are they on new medication? Have they, taken birth control? Are they on any kind of thing? Well, what happens when that client actually has changed something? Where do you note that? Do you note that electronically? Do you have a file? Do you have something that can allow you to leave notes on that the client notes. Okay. So as long as you're asking, since they've signed it, you really don't need to update the consent. You just need to make sure that you have noted that there has been a change in their health, whether it's been medication, whether it's been surgery, whether it's been, they've had a major skincare service done, they've had a chemical peel, like all of those things need to be noted just in case they come back and say, it's your fault that this happened and I'm blaming you. You always got to take precautions. But asking the question is what I find a lot of us don't do, especially when it comes to chemical peels. And the thing about chemical peels, and I've touched on this a little bit, is that there's a difference between a chemical peel and there's a difference between an alpha and beta peel. So, both skins technically should be prepared for those kinds of services. You should not have a client walk in off of the street and you do a peel on them. It doesn't work like that, especially a chemical peel. Jesners, you got to prepare the skin. They're going to be on some products and some inhibitors for a few weeks before you add any kind of acid to their skin. An AHA or a BHA, you really got to understand too that not all the skins are the same. And so you should be making sure that they're using something to prepare the skin for whatever you're trying to do with it. Nowadays, there's so many estheticians that allow clients to walk in off the street and give a peel. It doesn't make any sense. Now, you could do the same thing with an enzyme. You don't have to worry about it. But when you start pulling out any glycolic, lactic, sal, malic, mandelic, any of those, no, we shouldn't just be spilling them on people's faces. I don't care what the percentage is and I don't care what the pH is. You got to know, because not all skin acts the same. If you think that and you put them into a box, that's where we get in trouble. And that's why I encourage a lot of us to start thinking about the ingredients and not what the product has told, not the product manufacturer has told you to do. Think about the skin first. Think about the ingredients second. Not all skins can take every ingredient we want to put on their skin. This is why you got to think outside of that box where you've gone to a product knowledge class. That's all well and good. But what does the product and that ingredient specifically do in the skin? You got to know that. You got to know what glycolic does in the skin and how not all skins can take glycolic. You got to know the differences between the percentage and the pH. Because a lot of us think, oh, I'm using a 60% glycolic. But it can also be at a pH of 6, which is nothing. That's close to what our skin is, so it's not going to tingle. You got to understand the differences. So when you start using products, you got to know how they respond in the skin and what the appropriate response should be. Now, let's say you have someone and you do a chemical peel and they don't have the right response. Let's say it drops fast. And Angela's good about this because she has a chemical peel class. But let's say you put an alpha hydroxy on there and you want to do a layered alpha hydroxy peel and the glycolic drops faster than what you anticipated and you've paired it with the salicylic. What do you do then? Now, you should know salicylic is self-neutralizing, so if you add water, it's going to reactivate. So what do you do then? What is your precautions? What do you have on the side that you can grab that's going to self-neutralize everything? Look, I got crickets. People are like, what? What? Layered peel? What? What? Glycolic and sal? What? Yeah, what happens when it drops too fast? It drops faster than you anticipated, and it's burning the skin. What do you do then? How do you neutralize it? But you've layered it because you've put a salicylic on. How do you neutralize that? 'Tis the season. Please check the ingredients in those pumpkin peels. Absolutely. Thank you, Angela. Baking soda. Now, baking soda will not respond to sal. Baking soda will only respond to the glycolic. Salicylic is a self-neutralizing acid. It's also a beta, which means it's going to stay in those follicles, especially if there's oil present and your pores, a lot longer and self-neutralize on its own, which is why we tell people when we use salicylic, don't go to the gym 2 or 3 days later because the minute you sweat, it's going to reactivate that salicylic. So what do you do when you have someone that has salicylic on? It's the glycolic is paired with it, you've dropped it too fast and you need to neutralize it. A lot of us don't know what to do we? Because baking soda by itself does nothing. You have to do it in a water solution. But if you can't use water to deactivate the sal, but you can deactivate the glycolic, what do you do if the sal is still active? Because remember, glycolic is a car. Whatever you place with glycolic is also going to take it down to the dermis as well. So you got to understand these acids and how you use them and how they affect the skin. And I'm not even talking about a product line. I'm simply talking about a glycolic acid and a salicylic acid. I didn't say what product line it was from. I didn't say whether it was a liquid. I didn't even say what the pH or the percentage was. I'm just saying you've used it together. And some people's skin can't take both of those at the same time. And when I say it drops fast, which means it's going to take the salicylic and pull it down all the way to the dermis just as fast as the glycolic does. Not every skin can take that. And if you have a client that's, whoo, 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 you can't put water on it. You got to think about these kind of things, especially when you start talking about peels, and it is peel season. And a lot of us want to go get a pumpkin peel. A lot of us want to get these little cute little peels. You know, you really got to understand what happens when they get to the skin. And there's some things that you can do, and there's some things that you can't do. You know, you can have a fan, and that's about it. But what if the client starts sweating? And that's the other thing you got to understand about peels, which is why I've always said you got to do peels at night. Doing peels in the day does nothing for the skin. You're actually detrimental to the skin because you're going out into the UV. So if someone is sweating while you're giving them a peel and there's salve in it, it's going to keep activating and reactivating until they stop sweating, which is, again, why we say don't go to the gym. And this is just a very simple example. I mean, there's lots of other examples. I haven't even gotten to the Jesners. I haven't even gotten to any of the real deal. But you can get some good results when you layer peels. And layer peels meaning that you layer them, you let them sit on for a minute or two, you put another little pass. So yes, 101, absolutely. And you do another little pass with a different kind of, peel. You can do a glycolic and lactic layering. You can finish it with the salve. I mean, there's a lot of different things you can do with chemicals, AHA and BHA, and get great results with it. But you got to know what you're doing. You also got to know the pH, and you got to know the percentage. You got to know that client's skin. How thick is their skin? How thin is their skin? Because once it drops into the skin, you can't go get it, honey. Once you apply it, there's no going back. So that's why I said you got to know what you're doing, because some of us, we do carry that fault. We do things that we don't know what we're doing. We don't know. We've seen it on the Instagram or on a Snapchat that someone's doing layering peels with glycolic and sal and lactic, not realizing that they know that client's skin and they're understanding how it moves in the skin. We want to emulate and we don't want to be educated. And I had to go there because a lot of us do. We want to emulate what we see, but we don't want to understand what we're seeing. We don't want to understand what it's doing in the skin. So it's hard. It's hard when it's our fault. It's hard when we damage skin. It's hard to go back and make that right. It's hard to gain that trust of that client when we did some things we didn't know what we were doing. And that's why I say skincare is so important. You got to know. You got your Dr. Pugliese books today. You started reading. Awesome. You got to know what you're doing. You got to know what you're doing. You got to know what these things do in the skin. You got to know why they react the way they do. You got to know how to counter react them if it does not go well. Not all clients can tolerate AHAs and BHAs. So you got to have a emergency plan. You got to know what to do and how to deactivate it. Baking soda is great for an alpha, but for a beta, it won't work because the water is going to reactivate that peel. So that's why I said you got to know what you're doing. And what are you trying to accomplish? Thank you, Angela. Why are you using this peel? What are you trying to accomplish? Can you get that same result that you're trying to accomplish with an enzyme? And I push enzymes a lot because I think for a lot of us, enzymes are a lot safe. But enzymes also will tell you how clients respond. My favorite enzyme, and it's expensive, and Angela knows what it is the Dermalise, honey, by France Lore. It is a patented enzyme for skincare estheticians. It's a 2-part. It smells horrible, brings that pH down to 3. Great for acne skin. Dermalise ain't cheap. Dermalise, I think, is $280, $290. You should get about 50 treatments out of it. Ask Angela and I, honey, Dermalise peel at least $85 and up. And that was for 30 minutes. And that's just with steam. I take that back because that's a 45 minutes because each enzyme mask in that Dermalise has to be on the skin for 20 minutes. Potent. Do you understand? You got someone that has all kind of clogged pores and you can't get those extractions. You use that Dermalise enzyme. Ooh, wait. You talk about extractions all day long. I love Dermalise. I absolutely love Dermalise. Dermalise is my number 1. Number 2 is my Wild Agave by Global Skins. Angela is the rep for that. She sells that. Dermalise you can get by France Laura. Absolutely. Thank you. California Skincare Supply. I used to work for Kelly. I used to sell the Dermalise. That's how I know about it. Not a lot of people know about that enzyme. That is a potent enzyme. It is a flawless enzyme. France Laura also has a hydrophilic massage lotion. That is a water-based massage lotion that you can use with any line. I've used that to massage for years. They also have ampules. They have a hyaluronic acid ampule that I absolutely love. You want to get some dehydrated skin. You want to use it under LED. You get that honey and glass ampule. Pop your ampule. Put it up in there. Flawless. 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 I love those two products from France Laura. France Laura is very old school, is based out of Canada, but that Dermalise, whoo. And that's just an enzyme. So that's what I'm saying. You can get a lot of great results with enzymes that you don't even have to go to alpha or beta peel or even chemical peel. You can get some really, really good results, especially for clients that have clogged pores. Great for smokers. If you have someone that's a smoker and their skin is just dull and you're just trying to get a good breakdown of all that dried, hardened, smoked based skin, Dermalise is perfect for. You have a client that doesn't have a whole lot of acne, but they have a lot of blackheads. I love Dermalise. And that's a 40-minute treatment minimum because you got to do 20 minutes on each packet. So packet A and packet B. What do you think best for small pock marks? It really depends. Chemical peels in combination of microdermabrasion, depending on the skin type, is good. If it's a skin type with fits 3, 4, and 5, you got to be really careful to make sure that you're balancing out so that you're not going to be causing any hyperpigmentation. You got to make sure they're on an inhibitor when you start treating, and it depends on how deep the marks are. Depends on how long they've been there as well. If they've been there a long, long time, it's very hard. You know who does really great work, and I don't know if she has her befores and afters up anymore, is Catherine Leverett, who's in Oakland. She does a lot of movie stars, especially men of color. Like Danny Glover is her client. Who else, Angela? Help me out. Lawrence Fishburne. Remember, Lawrence Fishburne had a lot of scars. She used to have her befores and afters up on her website. And Catherine is phenomenal, but she did a lot of pop market scars. But her big thing, because she did not believe in microdermabrasion, her huge thing is chemical peels, layered peels, chemical peels, and using inhibitors in order to get the peels deep enough. So, you know, she is really, really good at that. But it really depends on the skin texture. Celine, you're going to have to cut the phone off because it's going to backfeed, love. Thanks, Mom. So it really depends on the skin, the texture, how long the scars have been there, how deep they've been there, and, oh, excuse you. Hi. Hi. Yes, Kat Leverett. And her business is called, what is it called, Ange? In Oakland? It's on the tip of my tongue. You see how she just sashayed by, honey. Last week she came in just, This week she's like, Anyway, but you gotta know. And that's why, to me, skin is so fascinating, because I think there's so much for us to learn and so much for us to know that we don't. Thank you. Yes, Urban Skin Solutions. Hi, love.
Hello. There'll be no cutting and popping tonight.
Look, you should. Come here, baby, so I can show them. Come here. He has this thing, I'm telling you, and it's squishy, and I can, like, pull it off. I know. See, they want to see, baby. Come on.
Oh,
where is it? Yeah, you gotta come down, baby. They can't see. You gotta get in there. You gotta get real close. Get real close. Here, sit down, baby. Sit down.
Things I do for my wife.
Yes. See, guys. See here. See right there. Look at that. See.
Is that a pimple?
See?
It's not
see,
a
and I
pimple.
see I could just slice it right there. You see what I'm saying? Just slice it right there. Just get like really just right there, and then it just go. You know, and I can pull it and it's squishy. Look, see, they said, ooh, get it. See?
It's a skin tag. I had it cut off, it came back.
I don't think it's a skin tag, baby.
I had it cut off once, it came back.
Look, I can get it. Look. And it's not just color, you see? Look, you said, you're a great man. I'm going to get it.
When I sleep, probably.
I know.
Thankfully, you fall asleep first.
I know, baby. Thank you. So, yes. So, anyway, Thank y'all for indulging me. You know, that's a good little thing you got right there. I'm telling you, just get me a little scalpel. Yes, look, demo that. Get my little gauze and all that. I'm so excited. Anyway, it's been great, guys, tonight. This has been a very interesting conversation. I mean, there's a lot of pictures out there. Hey, shh. There's a lot of pictures out there with some damage. And we just got to do better. We just have to do better. And it's more about building the relationship, I find. You know, like I said, it's about a 60-40. It's about a 60-40. You know, some people just will never forgive you. Some people will be willing to work with you. And some just will be like, it's okay. I love those ones that it's okay, because actually I feel worse when the ones say, it's okay, I understand things happen. That's like a kick to my gut, because I'm like, dang, I didn't want to do it, but you're okay about it, and I'm expecting you to be mad. I'm sorry. You know, those are always hard. Anyway, guys, you know my family's here, so I got to get ready to be a mom. I got to put my mom hat back on. But again, remember, Thursday, my cleansing bars go up. If you've not heard of my cleansing bars, please join my group. We have lots of estheticians doing so well with the cleansing bars. And I am on my second week of my natural deodorant. Angela and I are doing a deodorant trial. You lifted your lip, you used your coconut oil, it's gone in 3 days. Listen to you. Good. You enjoyed your first time on Periscope? Yes. Oh, you're welcome. I'm on my second week of my deodorant. I've not worn my antiperspirant. You know, I usually wear men's. I'm on my second week. I'm not stinky. I have my little formula. I've been using it. The little diva is using it as well. She is off deodorant as well. Rudy, I haven't gotten there yet, but I'm getting ready to get him there too. I'm gonna get him off of there. But Angela is doing the powder method. I am doing the liquid method, and I'm really enjoying it. You guys know my story that I tried about 10 years ago before Celine was born, and it didn't work. But now that I know that I'm purging a little bit, but I have no scent at all. 0 scent. So I have my natural cleansing bars that I'm using on my skin. Now I have, you know, I'm not using any aluminum here at all. It's very enlightening. I'm very surprised. And I also wanted something that I could give to my daughter that she can be comfortable with using. Because, you know, she's 10, so she's right about that age, you know, where the funk is coming. I need to get them on her feet. But, you know, she dances, so, you know, them dance shoes stink. But it's very enlightening on learning a lot about these. I'm using basically essential oils, and I'm using them in a process. And from what I've been reading from essential oils, which fascinates me, it's not just the oils that I'm using, it's the sequence that I'm using the oils in my concoction. That's also important as well. So, you know, there's a lot of oils out there that do really well. I'm combining some non-traditional with traditional, and it's working. And like I said, I go all day. My day starts at 6:30. I usually don't get to bed till 10. I shower at about 9:30, and I ain't funky. And today I had yoga. Usually I have Zumba, so you know it's good. You've been off aluminum a year now. You loved it. Caused mild depression. You reacted to the aluminum. When am I going to share? I don't know. You guys know how I do this. I do it for about 3 months. I still sweat. Absolutely. Girl, yes, I sweat. Look, I'm the one in yoga sweating. I do 90 days on myself and on my child. We research it first. I use it in all situations. And then I do a test group in my group. And then after that, I bring it to market. So my thing is I want to sweat. I just don't want to be wet under the arms, and I don't want to stink. So when I sweat, I don't mind sweating under the arms if I'm working out. I just want to be able to put it on, have it dry, and then be able to go on my day with not even thinking that I don't have any deodorant on. Because before, when I was using my men's antiperspirant and I didn't use it, oh honey, oh damn, I forgot. With this, I don't feel that at all, and I don't smell. And like that's been my test. So my husband smells my pits every night. That's TMI, but that's okay because he's my test. You know, whatever, he don't care. But and you know I don't get sugared, but every 6 to 8 weeks, so I have hair present too. So that's like my other thing. Because before, when I was doing it, that was before I even started doing anything under my hair. I was shaving, but now that I have hair present, and it's not a lot of hair, but exactly, beauty of marriage, yeah. That I have hair present and I'm still not funky with it, I'm very surprised, guys. So I'll keep you guys updated as we go along, because we're right now in September. So October, November, December. So right around December is when I'm going to look at December, January, doing a test trial. The cost of the 101 is on my personal website. Yep. So if you go to stephanielaynes.com, there's a tab right there that says Esthetician 101 course. You just click on it. Has everything that the course is going to be about. The early bird pricing. It starts on January 1st. Early bird ends on December 1st. I give you an option to pay in full or give you an option to pay in 3 payments. Please do you want to be the test trial. Awesome. Yeah. So we're excited. I'm excited. Yes, no smell. You need 2 weeks of funk to purge. Yep. And I'm at my 2 weeks now. But even when I first put it on, I didn't funk. So I purged, but I didn't funk, because the funk is important, Here we go. See, I thought that, we weren't going to have a block party tonight. Tonight was very mellow. Have you noticed that? Very mellow. Very mellow. Very mellow. And I had to block somebody. But yeah, so the deodorant thing is really kind of my next thing on my list, just because I find that's where I'm going. We have our natural soaps. We have our natural post-home care stuff. We have stuff for eczema. We have stuff for, psoriasis. We have all of this stuff. The next kind of thing for me to go to is for deodorant. But I think it's also a great thing to help our clients educate, especially for those of us who do hair removal in the underarm. We need to be telling them. I do have some cancer clients as well who have had cancer and had treatments, also need an alternative as well. And a lot of these that are on the market are way too expensive, and a lot of them don't work. Trust me, because I've used them and funked. So anyway, I'm going to go. I will be back with Miss Angela on Thursday. She will be back with her Periscope. You finished cosmetology school January 1st. Can you join? Yep, you sure can, hun. I'm going to be back this Sunday for a live Q&A in my Smooth Skin Supply Wax Chat group, all on my strip waxes, okay? You don't want to miss this. So Latte, 7, and Honey. We'll be having that there. Also, when you join my group, you can watch my old stuff. So I have a live Q&A on my cleansing bars. I have a live Q&A on my Cocoa and Diva Hard Wax Mix. And I have a live Q&A. I think that's it, just the 2. So anyway, good night, guys. Have a great time. This should be up on YouTube very soon. Remember, you can watch this in the Periscope app or any of my old Periscopes as much as you want. All you have to do is look under my name and look under the broadcast. Okay? All right, guys. Bye. Oh. No, because this don't want to cut off.